So in this video today, we're going to go over how to fix a crack or a hairline crack, sometimes also called a fracture. And these are caused by normal house settling. The severity of the crack depends on the severity of the issue that's causing it. So normal wear on your house from your joist or your rafters moving is going to allow the drywall to shift back and forth, or if it's a plaster, it could cause a plaster crack as well. Sometimes when it's more severe, like there's a foundation issue, you can have exposed beams, exposed studs. You can even see gaps as large enough to put your hand in. So the first thing you want to do is first mask off the entire area that you're going to be performing the repairs in. Second, you're going to want to cut a groove or a beeline or a bevel cut by angling your utility knife into there. And the reason for that is as the drywall is pushed down, it's causing or creating that crack. So what you're going to want to do is go at an angle, kind of forming like a V groove, and you're allowing space for when you add the screws to push it back up. So again, you're just cutting out that line where the crack is at. You're going to add screws for structure and strength. That's going to suck the board back up, and that's going to allow you to go on and start the next process, which is going to be adding your mud and your tape. And just make sure any other pieces that are loose, you're going to want to go ahead and just clean them out. There I'm using a 5-in-1, the tip of it, just to clean out anything else that might be in there. Anything that seems like it's loose around there. That way I have good adhesion, and that it's going to likely prevent cracks in the future. So there it is. After I cleaned it out, I put some screws in. On to the next step. Off my camera, what I did was I mixed some hot mud or quickset or easy sand. I believe it's probably like a 20-minute that I have. And I'm just going to go in and pre-fill all of those cutouts, all those grooves that I cut. Again, that's going to help to bond the drywall and suck back up, and it's also going to help for when I put on the mesh tape to cover that crack. Now here I'm applying mesh tape. Now this is going to be where some people have their own preference to what they want to use. Some people like to use what's called fiber tape, which is actually fiberglass that is made into a strip for finishing. I personally don't like it. It's itchy. I feel like it only gives you so many wipes before it smears or wipes. I'm just used to mesh tape. I feel that it's stronger and it allows a better bond. I do not recommend using paper tape when you're putting on your tape to cover it, only because paper tape isn't made for the hot mud or the quickset. Paper tape is made more for the regular joint compound. And here I'm just putting on the first coat. I'm going over that, I believe, with the 8-inch just down the middle, just to cover that seam and the mesh tape. Again, I'm using that 20-minute compound just to give it a good first coat. So that's our first coat. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a hit there with the heat gun just to make sure that everything's dried up before I go ahead and scrape it. So I'm just making sure that everything's dry, at least dry to the touch, so I can go on to the next coat. Even though the bags will say a certain number, like 90-minute, 45, 25-minute, the temperature in the house will always affect the drying. And it was a cold day when I was actually doing this, so even though it was a 20-minute, I still wanted to speed up the process and help it out a little bit by using that heat gun. So now I'm just coming in and I'm using a 6-inch knife just to gently scrape it. I'm not going ahead and gouging it. clean off any edges that might be there, any lap marks that are there. Just trying to make it smooth for the next coat. And I know from the camera angle, it seems like it looks like it might be humped out, but it's not. It's actually pretty flat. I will go wider on the next coat. So as you add coats or skims or beds, whatever you want to call it, you have to go wider. So I start off with the 8, I'll do a 10 and then a 12, and I'm just busting out that hump. I'm trying to make that illusion where the hump is not down the center, but it's spread out, so that way your eye doesn't go directly to it. So here I'm applying another coat, I believe of 20 minute. And I'm just going over past, a little past the first coat. And I believe I am using a 10-inch knife on this one. And we'll just repeat that process all the way down that joint. And the reason that I'm going down the sides after I'm trying to square it up as best as I can because this texture is pretty heavy. It has a pretty heavy orange peel. So I just wanted to make sure that I was as squared off as I could be. Now, I usually typically use hot mud or easy sand or quick set for the first 2 coats just because it gives me some dry time that I can put on multiple coats and play with. But on the 3rd coat, I will always use a topping like a Plus3 because it's easier to sand. Because if you work with hot mud enough, you know that it is hard to sand. It's not the greatest thing to sand. So just for my final, I will use a regular topping. Here, I am trying to get off just some of the edges. Like I said, it's a pretty thick texture, so I'm just trying to get down as much as I can. Now I'm coming up with my final, and I believe this is a 12 or a 14-inch trowel. And what I'm doing is using that Plus3, which is just a regular topping to cover it before I shoot the texture over it. And again, the idea behind it is just to go past that last coat or skim. And that's when I'm actually going the opposite direction of it, just trying to give that illusion of that hump being out even more, so it flattens it more. And as you can see, regular topping, Plus3. The regular joint compound is a lot easier to work with. It's just a lot smoother and slicker. And I'm actually thinned down quite a bit here because I'm pulling a very tight coat because I just want something to cover that hot mud, or else it's going to shine through. If I were to just put the texture over it, you would still see the hot mud through it. So I'm just giving this a coat just to cover everything real tight so that it dries. So I'm going to spray this the same day. That's it with 3 coats on now. I'm going to help it out with the heat gun. And I'm coming back and giving it a sand. Now what you want to do, because you're having the texture blend in, you're going to go and try to rub in those edges as much as you can until the existing texture is coming through that last coat, at least on the edges, not obviously in the middle. but you want that existing texture to shine through on the edges because that's how you're gonna blend it in better. So I'm moving over your texture. I mixed up my mud off camera. And I was testing it out at first just to make sure that it matches. It looked like it was good. So I'm just gonna spray it. And I'm going past the final coat or skim quite a bit just to make sure that it all blends in nicely. That's it all sprayed out. And that's the end of the job after I pull all the plastic down. The crack is gone. There is no hump. You have a lot of light that's cascading. You couldn't see it before because I have plastic covering it. So you just want to make sure, like I said, that that hump is pushed out. There's another little patch I had in that room that I actually did also at the same time. If you guys have any questions, or maybe you guys would have done different, let me know in the comments.